Hey, welcome back to Dirty Shirt Workshop. Got a little piece of history I'm messing with today. So I've been bringing home stuff from Dad's. He wanted me to get him cleared out, so that's what we're working on now. This is a mail sorting box that, as far as we know, it was claimed by the prior owners of my dad's farmstead to have come from the Duncombe, Iowa post office. So apparently they had drilled a well at that farmstead near the barn, and then the government built a new post office in Duncombe. They wanted to get rid of the old one, and the building was insulated. So the prior owner had gotten a hold of it, brought it home, and put it on top of that well for his well house. So my dad didn't get that place till like 1970, around there. So it would have been before that. So when we moved out of there, we took this with us because it's a nice piece for organizing things. So it's got just a little bit of stuff on here. I don't know what this is. This label says like 12M, and apparently this whole row is M. And there's only like 80 holes in here, so Duncombe had to be pretty small when this was enough of a post office, or I don't know if they had another side on it or what. I don't remember too much because I was just a little kid when I was running around on that farm looking at stuff. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to put a back on it so it's more rigid, and I'm going to flip it over because it's going to go right here on the back of my saw table. So I got these old scrap 2x here from some kind of a shipping crate, so that'll hold it. But on this end, I don't have any room here because I have my saw station, and I want to keep these removable. So that's why it sits on the top here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this off, clamp on this piece of steel, and weld it on there as a shelf to hold these, and then I'll be able to get that post office set up here and have a spot to organize a bunch of things. So first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab that sheet of 1/4 inch ply over there, flip this over so it's laying flat on the floor, because you can see the bottom here, well maybe you can't, here. The bottom of this is bowed quite a bit over the years. There you can see it kind of sags in the middle. So I want to get it straightened up, and the plywood will give it strength, and I won't lose stuff out of the back that way. I mean, it will be against the wall, and I'm going to screw it to the wall so it won't fall down. Well, since I have a square edge on this plywood, I know I'm square, except I just moved. I'm just squaring this edge with the plywood. So one interesting thing with this, it is 98 inches wide. They made the center exactly 8 feet, which is why this end isn't covering up here. It's already a lot more stable. So something I like to do when I'm using brads, particularly with these thin sheet goods, angle a brad in and then I'll go the opposite angle. And I find this holds things together a lot better, because instead of just being straight and the sheet can pop right off of there, they're at an angle. So it's like a wedge, and it holds it in place. And it makes it a lot harder for the piece of wood to pop off. Oh, that's a lot better. That thing was a noodle before. Yeah, that's real stable. Now I'll be able to get it up there by myself without wrecking anything. So next is the welding. So let me get the welder rolled over here and I'll show you what's going on with that. So no, I'm not advertising blue welders. This happens to be the one I have. But one thing I really like with it is it's got this dual voltage plug on it. So I can plug this into 110. And since I'm normally over there where I got my 230 volt, it's nice to be able to change this out when I want to use it somewhere else. It's not pretty, but that'll do. I got an electrical receptacle back here I want to be able to keep getting to, so I'll cut a hole for that. Hey, just going through a couple things I got home from Dad that I know I'm going to use or can help out people I know, specifically people that watch my channel. This is a lead melting pot and sinker molds. So any of my buddies that fish, if you guys want to make your own sinkers, get yourself some lead, hit me up, we can make sinkers. If anybody out there has got a beam central vac system, these are vacuum port caps for them, so if your caps aren't working, I can probably help you out. This is, it's two-prong, but it's a remote thermostat control. So you just set it for what temperature you want here and it kick on and off. Got a hydraulic return inline filter setup. This is a block heater setup you put in your car on the heater hose. And then you plug it in and heat your block up for you. This copper float ball, don't know what I'll use it for, but it's neat. Yeah, that would be one massive toilet, wouldn't it? All right, bunch of little two-prong light sockets and stuff. I've just been turning that into a sculpture just for the heck of it. A few other things over here worth checking out. Any of my farmer buddies, if you need a stirrator motor for your grain bins, I got a few stirrator motors here. Hit me up, we can work something out. This I think is an old multimeter. It looks like it does capacitance, hertz, and resistance, and it looks like you plug it in and hook it up and you just turn this deal probably till these lights turn on and off. Not exactly sure how it works. I'm gonna see if I can find a book on it online or something. Got a water pickup strainer. I'm gonna put a pump on this and use it for watering trees and plants in the yard. Since I'm floodplain, I always got surface water I can use rather than pumping out of the ground. My HVAC buddy, Brian, This is a vacuum pump for pumping down HVAC systems. It's an oil-filled pump. You can't have it, but we might be able to loan it out if you need it for something, or if you can't get a hold of your pump. I also have several motors here that'll work for furnace fans and things like that, so we can work out stuff on that. Got a transformer coil winder, that just is neat. Have a old belt drive, little grinder set up here. I'll probably actually get that cleaned up and working. Maybe run it with this motor here. This is already set up with the hinge style mounts, so the weight of the motor keeps the belt tensioned. All kinds of little fractional horse motors here, even some really, really tiny ones. These are pretty neat. So, oh, and look at this. This is asbestos gasket. I feel myself getting cancer already. Isn't that neat? I'm dying already. Cool. All right. These Chinesium shelf units that claim they'll hold 3,600 pounds. Well, this got about 1,000 pounds on it. And I certainly don't want more on it than that. I don't know if it's the wheels or what, but that's all the single phase. Not much left, just a few three-phase motors here. This is apparently a bicycle siren. You can't really spin it by hand, and I tried to drill, but it doesn't go fast enough. You're supposed to run this on your wheel. But she makes some noise with air. It's not very loud, but it might be good for when the neighbor's dog won't shut up. Well, I'm really happy to have that post office set up over there. I can get a lot of this stuff will go in there, and then there's other places for it. I can start storing other things in it as well. It's gonna be nice to have more organization around here. And if I can help somebody out with any of this stuff, let me know. I'd appreciate being able to help out. Thanks for watching.